Friends, this is Narasimha Rao Dattappa, and welcome to Python Primer from zero to coding with Google Gemini. Friends, while we can use GenAI to learn any programming language from scratch, it is important to remember that a solid foundation in programming basics will be very helpful and effective. And the core reason behind this course is to provide that foundation. Once you have a grasp of Python fundamentals, you can leverage GenAI to enhance your learning and problem solving abilities. This course is highly concise, and I would say it's a concise introduction to Python, specifically for beginner programmers or programming beginners who just want to quickly get started uh, programming with Python. Idea is not to get into details and highly theoretical underpinnings. It's deliberately I'm trying to keep this course very concise. End of this course, the goal is to provide working knowledge of Python, that is the syntax, data types, control flow, basic functions. Then it is up to the learner to utilize generative AI like Google Gemini or ChatGPT, whichever they have access to, and move ahead with further learning. As a first step to learning Python, we need to install the Python. In this video, I'll be installing Python on Windows operating system. You can refer to python.org for other operating systems. Fire up the browser, open python.org. Here you can click on the download for Windows. Latest version seems to be 3.12.4. Okay, I already have a copy, so that's the reason you can see an additional version here. In fact, I have Python already installed. Still, for sake of uh, completeness of this video, let me install it again. I'll click on open. I'm just installing to default directory. A word of caution here. Ensure you have admin privileges to whichever computer you are installing, and I'm sorry, and ensure you click this add Python ext to path. This can be done manually, but clicking here um, just helps you not doing that manually. It does it automatically for you. Now I'll click on install now. Also, I would prefer you use your personal laptops for learning because company laptops are typically restricted and they may not allow installations directly by you. So setup will take very little time and it will install Python. What happens after this? See, Python is an interpreted language. I will make a separate video on what is an interpreted language later. But here, the bare minimum we need to know is that it's an interpreted language. You will write your code in either text file or see, setup is successful, and I can close it. Right now, you can write code, something you can see on this homepage of python.org. You can simply supply this text to the compiler, and it will execute these code. Right. In my case, I'll be using, maybe for the sake of this video, let's try using a notepad. Okay. I'll use a notepad, and I will write my first program here. One more thing, to check if Python got installed correctly or not, you can open the uh, Python app command line on your machine. That will be here. Let me close the slide deck. That will be somewhere here if you can see. Okay, Python 3.11 64-bit, because my machine is 64-bit. Now this is command line. Here you can execute commands that Python can interpret. It's very simple. You can try 2 plus 2. It understands that you are trying to add numerics. You can say, for example, 4 into 2, some basic mathematics. It does. You can check. You can as well execute what are called as built-in functions. Here, print is a built-in function. But ideally, friends, a program cannot be single command. It needs to be a series of instructions, right? So how do we do that? We can do it exactly the same way. Um, Let me do it here in a notepad. Print double quotes hello comma world. Now the instructions to the computer, instructions of Python are in a predefined format. As you can see, I put the hello world in double quotes. Then I've used a special keyword called print, followed by a opening brace and a closing brace. Add on to this, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to save this uh, into my computer's, say, C drive, Python folder, and I'm going to name the file as first program.py. As you can see, this is a text file. However, we are giving an extension of py. That is to denote that it is a Python file. How do we execute the Python file? How do we execute this particular first py? I'll go to that directory from the command prompt. Right, I'm here. We can see first prog.py. You should be able to execute something like Python first prog.py. Now we are using here Python, which essentially means this is Python interpreter. Remember, friends, when we were installing, we use the tick box, add path that has ensured that the Python interpreter is accessible anywhere throughout the computer. That is the reason we are able to execute our first program. Very, very simple program, nothing complex, just shows some basic syntax and how we need to create and run a simple Python program. Now, if we want to say have more of those commands, we can just add them, right? One more print functions. Here, print is a built-in function. You can write your own functions to do specific tasks. In this case, this function is enabling you to display something on screen. You will delimit the or you will distinguish one line from another using a semicolon in Python. Now you can save this file, right? And then just run the same command Python first program.py. You can do the same mathematical uh, operations from here. Say print 2 into 2. It does work exactly the same way as it worked on the Python command line. Let us see. We can see 4. It works the same way. The core goal was to ensure that we install the Python and then use its interpreter to run a simple program. So just to recap, I shared the intent of this course, then installed Python compiler, showed you how you can check the Python installation from command line. We are seeing we have written a simple code using a built-in function called print, supplied a string, supplied numerics, and then saw how Python works. Thank you, friends. Hope this helps you get started quickly. See you in the next video. Thank you.